Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Why I rushed to the altar to marry my Filipina. We've all heard the thought of don't be in a hurry to get married, don't rush into it. Well, for me, I was 53 years old, so it's not like I was 18 years old and hadn't had time to really think about things. I had a lot of time to observe life and even study marriage, talk to people about marriage. And I wanted to be married really quite badly when I was in my mid-20s. And for some reason, I could not find anybody. Nobody seemed to be available, or everybody seemed to be married, dating, weren't interested. Nobody knew anybody that was single. And, 20s turned into my 30s, turned into my 40s. And there were some rough times. It was very easy to want to give up, but what's the alternative? If you give up, then what? The 90s were a terrible decade for me. At some point I just felt like this doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. I never shook my fist in God's face. I just didn't know what was going on here. And in my 50s, at that point, I was about ready to throw in the towel. I didn't know what to do. So I joined a dating website, Christian Filipina. My pastor had sent me an article about a man that found a wife in the Philippines. And so I had seen it before, so I was already familiar with the idea. And I thought, you know what? This man actually wants to see me get married. I'm going to do it. What have I got to lose? I didn't know anything about it. So didn't know anything about immigration or the Philippines. I'd always been attracted to Filipinas because they're small and little and light brown skin, dark brown skin. I like those things, and they had a reputation for making great wives. So I joined as a free member on March 13th, 2015. I think it was a couple days later or so. I paid up. And it took. I met my wife on day 5. It was her first day on the website. Then we kind of went steady and just communicated with each other at least 4 hours a day, sometimes 7, one day 10 hours. And after 18 days, I proposed to her. 18 days. Now, it felt like 3 or 4 months, but it was just natural that it was time to move on. I had talked to her about marriage, weren't just passing time and just wasting time. I told her what I was there for. I was looking for a wife, and I wanted to be a husband, and here's the type of husband I wanted to be. And by 18 days, she was willing to marry me, if I came down to see her, and I came down there to marry her so I could meet her family and friends, and they could see me. And what a thrill that was. We got married in 54 days from the time the time I winked at her. And then we got married was just 54 days. Would have been sooner if I could have, but there were reasons why it had to take so long. 54 days. So did I rush? No, I don't think so. I think God had prepared me through those 30 years of adversity. That was preparing me for my wife. In fact, she wasn't even born yet when I had started my search, and she was on the other side of the world. And yes, she was a Filipina. But I didn't want to turn down a good thing. I could not find anybody here. I had 30 years to think about what was important to talk about to any potential wife, and sure enough, when I met my wife there, I let it all out. I told her this is what I needed, this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted to be. I needed a wife. This is the type of husband God wanted me to be. Are you that person? What are you like? And what I said was exactly what she was looking for. And so she didn't hesitate to commit to marrying somebody she had not met either. And for all she knew was going to be a liar and maybe could not provide for her, but she liked the person I was. I liked the person she was indicating she was. And I went down there, and we're just going to get married, continue to get to know each other. Yes, continue to get to know each other. You're going to do that anyway. Even if you take 3 years to get married, you're still going to keep learning about each other. That's another video I'll do one of these days, how much do you have to know about each other? How long should you get to know each other before you get married? But for us, it was very quickly, and we're happily married now, coming up on 3 years. So I'm glad I didn't hesitate to marry my love beyond the sea.